I have a feeling that the Moderna CEO is listening to my videos. I recently did a presentation on their what in the world is going on, and this is the video that I did. The link is in the description. New vaccine, new risks, why scientists are worried about it. And I did this on the 10th of May 2025. Today is the 22nd. 12 days later, Moderna pull the vax. And when I say pull it, I don't mean that they've completely pulled it. I'll explain in a second what I mean. And it is the fact that their latest news coming out on the 21st of May 2025, just 11 days later, they're providing an update on their biologics license application submission for the same vaccine that I criticized. And I criticized it for a number of reasons, which you'll have to look at the article and the video to understand. One of them was I couldn't get full access to the data. Two, I wanted to know about IgG. Four, three, I wanted to know which variants it was targeting. What did the data show? These are some important questions, and I knew there was no way for anyone to completely discount it. They may not like it, but they couldn't discount it. No surprise. They have pulled it. And I'll read the news article to you just in a minute. Before I go any further, just a reminder that coming up in another about a week, a little over a week, is our first conference for the year, Hidden Drivers of Post-COVID Dysfunction. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking this is just about long COVID and people who are struggling. Nope, this is about the science that's causing so much disease around the world. We need to understand what is going on. So, back to the news story with Moderna. And if the CEO is listening, not an apology, but maybe you should have called me when I did the presentation. That could have helped. Anyway, just getting to their news release here. What happened is that on the 21st of May 2025, they provided an update about the submission. So they made a submission to, I think, probably the FDA. Yeah, to the FDA about the license application for this combination vaccine. It's a combination flu and COVID. So here, flu and COVID combination vaccine candidate for adults age 50 years and older. Now, this is a complete mRNA vaccine, by the way, for both flu and COVID. And what they decided is that the company plans to resubmit this biologics license application later this year after vaccine efficacy data from the ongoing phase 3 trial of these vaccines are available. Now, part of my annoyance was that they didn't publish the full paper. They put it out, but they didn't give us access to all of the data. So clearly, there is something in the data that they saw that they didn't share that made them pause. Because why would they pull back at this time? What is going on? And so I suspect that there are a number of reasons that it was showing, and I'll show you where it says this. Again, I'll show you again lower down in this statement, forward-looking statement from Moderna. So the withdrawal of the biologics license application for mRNA 1083 plans for future submission of the same vaccine and anticipated timing for efficacy data for the Moderna flu vaccine candidate. Part of the problem is that the data coming out did not show superiority. It was what they call non-inferior. And so therefore, if it's not more superior than what you do, which is when you give the COVID and the flu vaccine separately or even together, why would regulators license it? And that's the problem that they're facing. Additionally, as I said in the article, I mentioned the other issues that they should have been looking at. What percentage of the antibodies are IgG4, immune tolerant? What percentage of the antibodies target the current variants? Important to understand. Additionally, when we look at what is happening, when they do a combination like that, we already have so many questions about the spike protein and the side effects and the disease. If they combine that with the flu vaccine and there are long-term risks, how will you be able to differentiate it? That's part of my point. You know, you have a novel technology. What you do is you definitely don't go mixing it up with other stuff because you want to understand what are the medium to long-term risks. Well, if you want to understand what the medium to long-term risks are, so far what it seems is that at the moment there doesn't seem to be too much interest in these risks as long as the platform gets out there. But we have to ask questions. And this is the point with regards to what we're doing here, is that, as I said, a lot of people don't like me asking these questions, and they really suppress the content in order for me not to get it out. And so I see it firsthand. But the point is that if it's a new combination vaccine, high chance that it has new, unanticipated, unknown risks. And if you have a situation where it is not superior to what you currently do, why would you use it? So they are now buying time, because you can imagine the investors are worried. You know, they've put their money in this and they want to know that they're going to get a return on investment. What happens if this vaccine is then pulled? Where is Moderna going to get the finance for long term? This looked as though it was their big hope, because it would then mean a flu COVID vaccine that would be ongoing for years to come, that they could easily update. But now you have the FDA on the RFK restricting the vaccines, wanting to have more details on placebos. It's a mess for them now. So this is where we are at the moment, is that we need to continue to ask questions, because it does make a difference. It makes it harder for companies to just sidestep important aspects about patient safety. Who is going to advocate for you? Because this is where we have failed in the pandemic. We had too many people in positions of authority, positions of trust, who were willing to look the other way when they should have been asking more questions. The hope is that if we keep on pushing, it will become harder and harder for anyone to get away. Have a great evening. And remember, 2 things coming up. Remember our conference, Hidden Drivers of Post-COVID Dysfunction. Register in the description below. And critically, if you want to see the full video about what I'm talking about, where I put and detail the risk, please click on the link in the description as well. Let's continue to be educated, wise, and know exactly what is going on. Have a great evening.